Most people think sugar is the worst carbohydrate you can eat, and while excessive sugar is absolutely problematic, there's another class of carbohydrates that affects your metabolism even more aggressively. They raise blood glucose faster, stress the pancreas harder, and may contribute to inflammation throughout the body. And the irony? These carbs often appear in foods marketed as healthy, gluten-free, or even sugar-free. Welcome to ViralStride. Today we're taking a closer look at industrial starches, processed carbohydrate additives that appear in thousands of everyday foods. We'll examine what they are, why they behave differently in the body than natural starches, and what current scientific research suggests about their metabolic effects. By the end of this video, you'll understand why these ingredients deserve more attention in conversations about obesity, diabetes, gut health, and long-term chronic disease. When we talk about carbohydrates, we usually divide them into sugars, starches, and fiber. But industrial starches are different. These starches are extracted from foods like corn, potatoes, rice, or wheat, and then heavily processed. Common examples include modified food starch, corn starch, maltodextrin, pre-gelatinized starches, chemically or enzymatically altered starches. Unlike whole food starch, these industrial versions have been stripped of fiber, micronutrients, and structural complexity. What remains is a nearly pure chain of glucose molecules that the body breaks down extremely quickly. When starches exist in whole foods, beans, oats, potatoes, they're part of a larger matrix that includes fiber and resistant starches. These components slow digestion and moderate the glucose response, but once the starch is isolated, mechanically refined, chemically treated or spray-dried, its molecular structure becomes far more accessible to digestive enzymes. This is why the glycemic index of maltodextrin, for example, is than table sugar. The glucose molecules are rapidly cleaved and absorbed, creating an abrupt rise in blood glucose. This isn't about demonizing carbohydrates, it's about understanding that the influences metabolic response. A rapid spike in blood glucose requires a rapid spike in insulin. For individuals with normal metabolism, the pancreas compensates, but repeated surges, especially in people with insulin resistance, may contribute to metabolic dysregulation over time. Several studies evaluating highly refined starches show faster glucose absorption, higher insulin response, greater post-meal glucose variability. Large swings in glucose and insulin are linked to increased hunger, energy crashes, and long-term strain on beta cells, the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. One reason these starches are widely consumed is because they're cost-effective and improve texture, shelf stability, and thickness in foods. They appear in gluten-free baked goods, baby formulas, protein powders, cereals, sauces and dressings, soups, processed meats, frozen meals, snack foods, even products marketed as zero sugar, healthy, or diet, frequently rely on maltodextrin or modified starch to improve taste or mouthfeel. Another area of interest is how these starches influence gut health. Natural starches include resistant starch, which feeds beneficial microbes and produces short-chain fatty acids. Heavily refined starches, on the other hand, reach the bloodstream rapidly, provide little benefit to gut bacteria, may contribute to imbalance when they dominate the diet, can alter fermentation patterns in the gut. Some individuals report digestive discomfort, bloating, rapid hunger return, or unstable energy and after consuming high amounts of refined starches, especially maltodextrin. This does not mean they are inherently harmful for everyone, but their dominance in modern diets may crowd out beneficial fibers. Some industrial starches are chemically modified to change their thickening properties or stability. Common agents include phosphates, acids, or oxidizing compounds. From a scientific standpoint, these modifications are considered safe within regulated amounts, but long-term independent data is limited because the food industry often self-regulates through the GRAS process. As a physician, I approach this topic with nuance. The presence of a chemical alone doesn't imply harm. Toxicity is dosage dependent. But consumers should be informed about what's in their food and how it's processed. While we cannot say industrial starches cause chronic disease, research does associate diets high in refined carbohydrates with higher risk of type 2 diabetes, weight gain, elevated triglycerides, greater glycemic variability, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in predisposed individuals. These relationships are multifactorial, involving overall diet quality, genetics, and lifestyle, but highly refined starches are part of the broader pattern of ultra-processed food intake. One of the concerns with snack foods is the combination of refined starches, refined oils, and heat. When starches are fried or baked with oils, particularly unstable polyunsaturated oils, their breakdown products may include compounds that increase oxidative stress in the body. This is one reason heavily processed snacks have a different health profile compared to whole foods. When I counsel patients, the goal is not perfection, it's awareness. Here are practical, medically reasonable steps. 1. Check ingredient lists, not just sugar grams. 1. Limit ultra-processed foods to the extent practical. 1. Choose whole food carbohydrates, beans, vegetables, whole grains, fruits. 1. Evaluate gluten-free or diet foods carefully. Many rely heavily on refined starch. 1. Aim for fiber-rich options, which naturally moderate glucose absorption. 1. Consider satiety and energy patterns. If a food causes quick hunger return, it may be overly refined. Industrial starches aren't inherently toxic, and occasional consumption is not a medical emergency. The concern is cumulative. They appear in such large quantities throughout the modern food supply that they can displace more nutrient-dense foods. If you're managing diabetes, insulin resistance, or gut issues, paying closer attention to these ingredients can be especially helpful. If you found this breakdown helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And in our next video, we'll examine another controversial topic in modern nutrition: refined seed oils, what the evidence actually says, and what remains uncertain.